Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. Today I'm going to talk to you about Intellia therapeutics. One of our subscribers requested to have a look at this share. So I'm going to do a coverage which is going to be at the most 20 to 25 minutes in length. And we're going to talk about what's happening with Intellia in terms of its latest financial results, in terms of its pipeline. And I'm also going to look at one of its lead candidates, ATTR related therapy, and put a size out there of how big the market is and what's the prevalence, what's the current treatment going to cost. So it's going to be a very interesting video. So let's get started. Let's start off with the financials. Intellia incurred a loss of 1.96 per share as against a street expectation of 1.11 in Q1, thereby disappointing the street when it comes to EPS. For entire 2022, analysts are estimating earning of minus 5.77 per share for Intellia. That said, Intellia Therapeutics reported a loss of 144 million in Q1 2022. This loss is to be balanced by the fact that a sum of 56 million was spent on acquisition of Rewrite Therapeutics, and also around 18 million was spent on employee-related costs. And when it comes to employee-related costs, 8 million of that was spent on stock options, and around 11 million was spent for getting new staff for R&D and attracting good talent that is going to be useful for the company. So in my books, I consider that a good portion of that loss is accounted for in terms of greater investment and investment in the capability of the company. So that is positive. The total revenues came in at 11.3 million for the first quarter, and it was above the street expectation of 10.3 million. And also, as compared to the same time in previous year, that is Q1 2021, they had done around 6.5 million. So they are up about 4.9 million this Q1 2022 as compared to the same quarter last year. So in my books, that's a really good performance. And also from a cash perspective, based on past performance and cash burn, it seems to me that this company will have cash for at least 2.5 to 3 more years, assuming they continue in the same track. So apart from the stock options, I don't see any equity dilution in the near term. So that's a slight positive in my opinion. And now with that said, let us go and have a look at the pipeline for Intellia. So here I have the pipeline for NTLA 2001. NTLA 2001 aims to treat ATTR-FAP. The name of this condition is a mouthful, so I'm going to try to pronounce it to the best of my ability. It is transthyretin familial amyloid polyneuropathy. It's a rare autosomal dominant disease characterized by amyloid deposition in the peripheral nerves and major organs. When left untreated, inexorable loss of function ensues, and with an average survival of 10 to 15 years after symptom of onset. Currently, treatment is made by using a Pfizer product called as tafamidis, also marketed now as Vendaquel and Vendamax. There was a huge outcry in 2020 against Pfizer when Pfizer announced that the price for this therapy is going to be $225,000 per year. So that is the background in which you have to look at NTLA 2001. So when you look at the Pfizer product, it's an ongoing treatment with a yearly cost of $225,000 per year per patient, whereas NTLA 2001 is likely to be once and done, and you can then imagine the kind of pricing that can be done for NTLA 2001 therapy. We also know from Intellia's previous communication that NTLA 2001 reduced serum levels of transthyretin, a key biomarker for the disease, by 87% in patients who received a higher dose. This result bested the standard of care therapy, which typically reduces transthyretin by 80%. And that being the case, I would assume that this particular therapy, NTLA 2001, is most likely to be once and done. We are likely to get more information from Intellia on it going forward. If it's a once and done therapy, then definitely the pricing power is there. Now, having said that, we have to look at the size of the disease. So I'm going to show you a graph. So here you can see the chart that I have picked up from NCBI. I put the source details below, so you can actually go to the website and have a look at it for yourself. So it seems that this disease is more prevalent in Portugal, and that's where you find the major incidence. And the other countries where you find this disease is Sweden and Japan. So combined, Portugal, Sweden, and Japan account for 43% of the cases. There are around 3,000 cases of ATTR that are diagnosed in USA every year. And there is a wide range of clinical presentations for this multisystemic disorder. So it's often misdiagnosed or subject to delayed diagnosis. Although the exact prevalence is difficult to determine, existing estimates suggest a worldwide prevalence of 50,000 individuals with varying phenotypic presentations of the disease. According to pharmaforum.com article on February 2020, and according to analysts at Globe Data, sales are set to rocket to 1.5 billion next year and 3.5 billion by 2025 for Pfizer, for Vyndaqel and Vyndamax. And for 2021, the revenues for Pfizer for Vyndaqel or Vyndamax were 155 million in Europe, 142 million in rest of the world, that is developed countries in the rest of the world, and 13 million in emerging markets. So you can see the potential of once and done treatment in terms of pricing. And even if Intellia's NTLA 2001 is not a once and done, but maybe once in every 5 years you need to have a booster, even then there's going to be a good uptake and there's going to be good pricing potential. So it all depends on how much it's going to cost for Intellia to produce, what is the economy of scale that can come in, and those things can determine how successful the product will be or the therapy will be. And I spoke about NTLA 2001 in detail because that's in the most advanced stage of FDA approval in the pipeline of Intellia. Next therapy that is in the early stage clinical trials for Intellia is NTLA 2002, and this therapy is aimed at addressing hereditary angioedema. The hereditary angioedema is a rare inherited disorder characterized by recurrent episodes of accumulation of fluids outside of the blood vessels, blocking the normal flow of blood or lymphatic fluid and causing rapid swelling of tissues in the hands, feet, limb, face, intestinal tract, or airway. So that's the indication. And if this therapy succeeds, then again it's going to have a good impact on the fortunes of Intellia overall, and it can also help it to extend its cash runway beyond 2 years. And in any case, for most of these genomic companies, as soon as one of their therapies become revenue generating, these companies will enter the stratosphere. With regard to Intellia, NTLA 2001 is in collaboration with Regeneron, so there will be a split in the revenue, and also there might be milestone payments in there. So those things will also be a positive for Intellia. Intellia is working on 3 candidates to enter the clinical trial stage. I'm going to talk about them right now. So as you can see here, we have got more therapies which are just in the verge of getting into clinical trials. And we have 3 of those candidates about which Intellia spoke recently in their press release. And they said that they're working on 3 candidates to enter clinical trials, with the nearest one being NTLA 3001. And it's a CRISPR-mediated in vivo gene insertion candidate for alpha-1 antitrypsin that is associated lung disease. Intellia plans to submit an application for human testing with the FDA in 2023, that is next year. Intellia 3001 is designed to insert a copy of the SERPINA1 gene with the aim of restoring the expression of a protein called A1AT, which is missing or deficient in patients with AATD-associated lung disease. Without the ability to create any or enough of the protein, lung tissue is damaged and destroyed. The other therapy that Intellia has got in early stage clinical trials is NTLA 2002, which addresses hereditary angioedema, which is a rare inherited disorder characterized by recurrent episodes of accumulation of fluids outside of the blood vessels. This causes the blocking of the normal flow of blood or lymphatic fluid, and it causes rapid swelling of tissues in the hands, feet, limbs, face, intestinal tracts, etc. and even the airway for that matter, and it's a very uncomfortable condition to be in. I'm not sizing up this market in this video because I want to keep the video short, 20 to 25 minutes. I'll definitely bring you more detail about that in subsequent videos on Intellia. So it's a promising line of action for the company. Another candidate called NTLA 2003 is being developed for the type of AATD that results in liver damage. Intellia is currently initiating activities that could lead to FDA filing for human study. The company's hope is that the in vivo knockout development candidate, which is NTLA 2003, can halt the progression of liver disease and prevent the need for a liver transplant in patients with AATD-associated liver disease. And finally, NTLA 6001 is getting prepped for the clinic to treat CD30 expressing hematologic cancers such as relapsed or refractory classical Hodgkin lymphoma. The allogenic CAR T therapy was the first to use Intellia's proprietary allogenic cell engineering platform. NTLA 6001 combines a variety of sequential gene edits in an effort to protect T cells from immune rejection by host T cells and natural killer cells. So this is a very, very promising approach, and we should look forward to more coming out of this for Intellia in subsequent earnings calls. We'll get more detail. You'll notice that we also have QT OTQ 923, which is for sickle cell disease in early stage clinical trials. Of course, there's going to be a lot of competition in the sickle cell arena, and also this therapy is in collaboration with Novartis, so there's going to be some amount of revenue sharing out there. So and also, of course, milestone payments and everything. So let's look at the price chart for Intellia. Now this chart which I have has got a candle for every day, so each candle is worth 1 day. If you look at today's candle, we have got a bearish kind of a situation, but we are still within the range of yesterday's trading, and our support, which has been here at 41.97, is still holding for us, and we are constrained by the 9-day exponential moving average, and we have got an upper limit for the channel at 49.63. Again, just like all other genomic shares that we had seen, because this is behaving range bound, and I do not expect any new negative catalyst for Intellia. That being the case, there is a good opportunity, in my opinion, to do some amount of swing trading between 41.97 and 49.25. Traditionally, people do not do any swing trade when VIX is above 20, so it's only for the really brave and strong-hearted people with great constitution. There could be a little bit of day trading opportunity also in here, given that we are moving within this range, so there is a chance to buy. That said, these are my personal opinions. Please do not trade shares or make any trades based on what I am saying. Do your own due diligence, and once you are convinced of the ideas, then you decide to invest. So that has to be made very clear. Having said that, I'm going to go in for a 2-hour chart and see what it looks like in the 2-hour chart. So you can see in the 2-hour chart that we are still range bound out here, and if I go back and have a look at the level to which we have fallen, we definitely have very strong support out here. This is not a minor support, so I'm going to extend this into a horizontal line and put a support out here and pull it down here. So this is exactly where we have a horizontal support. So I think that this company probably has reached as low as it can go, given the fact that it has got sufficient cash for at least another 2.5 to 3 years in its balance sheet, and given that it has got collaboration with Regeneron and Novartis. I think that the company should be able to stabilize around these levels and start moving upwards as positive catalysts come, as risks get mitigated in the overall macroeconomic environment. So that's my opinion. If you look at the exponential moving averages, you can find that we are constrained by the 9-day, 20-day, 50-day, and 100-day exponential moving averages. So there is a lot of headwinds out here for Intellia, but we have seen that even in the past, despite the headwinds, Intellia has been able to move within this narrow range. So that's one trade idea I could probably offer. Apart from that, I don't have much to say with regard to this chart. The MACD continues to be bullish but tending towards the signal line. Our main concern out here is that the momentum is below average. It needs to pick up. If you go to a one-day time frame and look at the chart, you can see that we have picked up our momentum today, but we are just regressing again. So overall, there is a bearish tendency out here, but I'm still feeling comfortable that we might be trading range bound unless something really negative happens in the macroeconomic environment. I don't see Intellia suffering too much beyond this point. With that, I would like to end the analysis of the chart. There is nothing much more I can talk about here. Well, friends, that brings me to an end of this video. And my effort has been to try and make the videos as crisp and concise as possible and try to keep it within 20 minutes. That's my recent efforts. It's darn difficult to do that, but we'll get there. Please give me your feedback on how we can improve this channel further, other contents that we may incorporate. This particular video was a suggestion from one of our subscribers, and I've done a few more in the last few days. So I'm open to that. And with that, I would like you to press a like out there if you like this video. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and join our community of CRISPR enthusiasts and help us grow this channel. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.